Yes, students, so we have covered money supply and the components as well as the measures of money supply. Now today we have to deal with the banks, that is commercial bank and the central bank. So coming to the bank is a financial institution that accepts deposit from the public and advance loans to the public as well as creates money in the economy. So if you take money supply, as we have learned earlier, if you take money supply, it is bank who creates money. So it is the ultimate role of the bank who controls money supply in the economy. So bank means it is the financial institution that accepts deposits from the public and as well as advance loans to the public as well as creates money with this deposited money. So you have certain types of bank. Coming to the types of bank, you have central bank. Central bank, that is the apex institution that controls the overall financial institution or the overall banking sector of the economy, that is the central bank. As well as all you know, in India our central bank is the Reserve Bank of India. And coming to the next bank, that is the commercial banks. Commercial banks, as you all know, you have a lot of types of commercial banks in the country. If you take the example of India itself, you have Axis Bank, Canara Bank, SBI, that is the State Bank of India. All those are scheduled commercial banks. So commercial banks accepts deposits from the public as well as grants, accepts deposits from the public as well as grant loans to the public, as well as they also performs the check facilities. That is commercial banks. And cooperative banks means they are originated for concentrating the development of rural areas. You have one more such type of bank, that is the regional rural banks. Again, the other type of the bank, that is the regional rural banks, which is set up to develop the agricultural sector of a country. Or as you know, we are our Indian economy is a agricultural dominant country. That is, we actually rely upon the agricultural sector for our productive purposes. So without raw materials, industrial sectors cannot perform the services. So with the provision of raw materials from the agricultural sector, that is the primary sector in an economy, you have to we are able to perform the industrial activities, and at the last we can render services from the service sector. So that means regional rural banks, they provide a very well assistance, the financial assistance to the farmers to control or to develop the agricultural sector. As you all know, India is relied more upon agricultural sector. That is the primary sector. Next comes the land development banks. That is concentrating on the development of the agricultural sector through the land. It is also known as land mortgage banks. That is, they provide long-term credits to the farmers. That is, with the low interest rates. See, farmers need more of money, or without money you cannot hold on with the agricultural practices. So farmers, as you all know, they come from the poor background, so they cannot have more of money with them to perform all the agricultural activities. So the major way in front of them is to take loan. So actually they have to take loan, but at the smaller rate of interest. Then only they can withstand the loan amount or the situation they are engaged in. So that means they want to buy tractors, they want to buy nice fertilizers, good fertilizers, pesticides, irrigation facility, better irrigation facilities. All these takes more cost. So for covering up those costs, the farmers have to take money from the financial institutions. So for such developments or for such assistance, the government has started with the land development banks, regional rural banks, cooperative banks, etc. for providing with them short-term loans, medium-term loans as well as long-term loans in the smaller rate of interest which they can adjust. Then comes the exchange banks. As you all know, we all are engaged in the foreign exchange services. So to exchange currency with another currency, you need a foreign exchange reserve. So those banks which deals with foreign exchange is known as exchange banks. Then comes Exim Bank. As we deal with the foreign exchange, we deal with the export and import of goods and services from our country to another country also. So for that also you need assistance, more assistance to perform the export and import in a country. So that also gives that also needs more support, more assistance with the money. So that also is provided by the Exim Bank, that is Export Import Bank. Then comes the development banks. The development banks means in a country, infrastructure is more important. Without infrastructure, you cannot have an economic development. Economic growth can be achieved. Economic growth, as you all know, that is the rise in per capita income or the rise in output of the country. Output you can increase anyhow, but without the infrastructural facilities, with that, you cannot have an economic development. Economic development is a long-term process. So, for assuring there is an economic development, government has to look after the infrastructural facilities also. So for assuring such infrastructural facilities in a country, development bank is very important. You have certain types of development banks, that is Industrial Finance Corporation of India, that is IFCI, Industrial Credit and Investment Corporation of India, that is ICICI, and Small Industries Development Bank of India, that is SIDBI. In short we call it as SIDBI. So all these banks play more important role in the development of an economy. Then I have to deal with the structure of commercial banks in India. As you all know, before independence, our banking structure, or you can say the banking institution or the financial sector of India, was very weak. We had only very mere numbers of banks performing for us, or they were performing too weak also. So at the last decade of 19th century, actually banking originated in India. Don't forget, just note the key point, that is the last decade of 19th century, India started with a proper banking structure. So it was the three banks. So commercial banks in India were entirely private banks before independence. As you know, we never had a public sector bank or a foreign bank, or no banks were controlled by government or managed by government at that time. All those banks which were available at the time of independence was only private sector banks, and you have to keep it in mind that also was a poor performance was given by them. So now after 1990s, as you all know, by 1991 our Indian economy was opened up. That is, we actually accepted the strategy of LPG, that is, it is not the liquefied petroleum gas, it is the liberalization, privatization as well as globalization strategy. As you all know, liberalization means it is the deregulating the what you can say available regulations. You are controlling the regulations. Then privatization means all those companies, all those public sector companies which were running under laws was taken up by the private sector to revive them and